Shalom, brother and sister truth seekers. Interesting topic tonight that I felt I needed to put a quick video together for because I hear a lot of people asking and about it and talking about it, and that is, how does the Creator's true international, well, no, how does the leap year work? And this is Gregorian leap year this year, but uh, I am not at all an advocate or a fan of any intercalation, most forms of intercalation. Like I can't see the Creator's times taking steps away from the luminary signs that we see, like Genesis 1:14. Like I need to see some kind of luminary sign involved with the understanding of his times. But the the interesting thing with the Creator's true leap year that I'm starting to realize, and now that we have enough people collecting data around the world, um, I'm starting to understand, I think, a little bit, and I just wanted to share the preliminary thoughts with you of what I think I see is happening. I think it's going to take at least one more equinox event to prove it out for sure, but from the looks of it, the big difference between the Gregorian leap year that we're all familiar with, that happens every 4 years, and they have some weird rules for every year divided by 200 or something you skip divisible by 200, whatever. I mean, it happens all around the earth. Everyone on earth experiences the leap year at the same time in the Gregorian calendar. But in the Creator's calendar, I think the unique design, and again, time just runs, and it's based off of the luminary movements, per my understanding. But the interesting thing with the Creator's leap year, as opposed to the Gregorian leap year, is that different people around the earth will see that leap year cycle on different years. So let me try to explain this. So this shows where in the spring of 2023, where it seemed we were seeing the Creator's international dateline, and it seems it's shifting. And last fall, it seemed to be just off the coast of America, West Coast, and it was projected to be out here in the Pacific Ocean this year. And I mean, based on all the data that came in, it definitely seemed like there was a possibility it could still be landing right around where it was projected, somewhere around Australia. It was just really tricky with Africa this year and this region. I can't say for sure, but I mean, can't ignore the fact that there were several witnesses potentially pointing to the fact that it could have been here. Like Dubai saw the straight line on the 19th and the 20th. Yeah, someone in the Philippines saw a post-equinox curve on the 20th. So, I mean, it unfortunately wasn't able to say absolutely. So that's why I say I think we're going to need one more equinox event to confirm. But the interesting thing, let us say, if it is true that it landed here, and we'll confirm with one more equinox, but the preliminary pattern that I'm seeing is, take these people, for example. So if the international dateline was here in the spring of 2023, everyone directly to the west, or rather, I should say, everyone between where the Creator's international dateline was 1 year and where it will be the next year. I think that's what I'm starting to see. That's the zone where something interesting happens. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like in this zone is where people will actually see 366 days between equinox events. And yeah, like, so now the example that I'm seeing, and it was like people were flooding me with emails and asking me, what's your projection? When's the straight line going to happen? And I couldn't say if it was going to be 365 or 366 days, because I was right on the edge of this thing. If the data is correct that we collected past couple equinoxes, but I was like right at the end of time. So the first person to see the straight line was here, and the sun traveled all the way around the Earth. And it wasn't until the sun got way back to me here on the East Coast that I finally saw the straight line. So I was at the end of time. And so I wasn't sure, did that mean 365 days for me or 366 days? And I just couldn't wrap my mind around it. But based on what just happened last week, I can now see the amount of days it was between the two equinoxes I saw in 2023 and 2024. And I can also see how many days it was for these folks that were living on this side of the international date line. And the interesting thing is, it's 365 days for me, and for them, it's 366 days. So the example is, and you can check out the link in the description below this video to find this spreadsheet full of this data. But I mean, I just pulled an equation of my the date I cited the straight line in 2013 and 2014 in West Virginia. This year that was the 19th. So let me see if we can see that. So there it is. It's highlighting this one, the 19th. And then in the spring of 23, it was the 20th. That's when I saw the straight line. 20th in 2023, and then the 19th. And I just subtract those two, and I get 365. I lost it. There it is. And then I did the same thing for California. So someone in California last year, or very close by, at any rate, someone just to the west of the Creators International date line, they believed they were seeing it on the 19th. And interesting to note, oh yeah, this gets tricky with the Gregorian date. Like, when the difference between these two right here is that man-made international date line. So it's really the 19th, same 24-hour cycle for Australia, but different dates because of the man-made international date line. But anyway, I just took one of these that were directly west of the international date line where we saw it in the spring of 2023 and subtracted it off of someone who saw it on the west coast this spring. And it was the 19th, and I believe it was the 19th. In both years, it was the 19th, but this is the Gregorian. It happened to be the Gregorian leap year this year, and there's when you subtract those two dates. I lost it again there. Oh, I lost it. How did I do it? Oh, I messed that up, didn't I? Everyone can confirm that did say 366 a moment ago. I'm telling you. I don't know why it just changed on me. Let me get it back here. I'll just do it all over again. So I'm gonna grab the someone on the west. So Oregon minus the 2023. Oh, I'm going too far. Right here. There. That one. Boom. 366 days between straight lines. So, yeah, interesting food for thought, and want to give some credit to Danon in California because he was obsessed with counting the days of the year, and he just kept emailing me about it. And it was finally after like the 10th email that I was like, well, I mean, I'd like to try and answer this question. And I was thinking, and he was telling me like something was wrong because all I could tell him was, I'm looking at my data and I know it was 365 days from equinox to equinox for me. And he was like, oh, there's something wrong. Like, I'm counting an extra day and it doesn't make sense. And I didn't know what to tell him. But as I thought about it more, it was like, oh, the difference is that the Creators International Dateline was between us last year. So you were on one side and like I was on the other. I saw the straight line in 2023 on the 20th, but you saw it on the 19th. You were ahead of me, and so I just realized there's the extra day right there, and I did the math real quick, and that's what it looks like. So, again, that's just preliminary food for thought. So, I would say, just as a rule of thumb or something to watch out for potentially, if we are able to confirm where the Creators International dateline is, then I would say certainly the folks who live in the region directly, and I'm not sure how far it goes, but I think it's essentially a quarter of the map every year is the new group of people who is going to see that 366th day. I can't say anything too conclusive about how far it went this year because we just don't have conclusive data out here. The only data I have that's conclusive is out here. So in theory, we could test that too. Let's just test Australia real quick. So in theory, Alan in Australia believed he was seeing the straight line this year on the Gregorian date of the 20th. And then if we go to see what he saw in the spring of 23, where is Alan? Alan. There's Alan. Oh wait, I'm in the fall. How did I get to the fall? We want in spring. Spring, there it is. Where's Alan? Alan. I apologize, and my brain's like fried. It's late night. 366 still. But I think I think it's going to get cut off though at some point. Like not everyone is going to see 366 days. I don't know when it stops, but probably I'm thinking it's quarters is what it is. It's approximately quarters. It's because of the extra 0.25 days. But it's just something to keep an eye on. So to wrap this up, I would say if we know where the Creators International dateline was, people directly to the west, to some distance that I'm not quite sure yet, it would take a couple more equinox events to confirm, but those people would see 366 days between equinox events. And then the people like me to the east of the Creators International dateline will see 365 days up to a point. And I don't know where that is. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle. But yeah, that's just the pattern I'm noticing, and I've had a lot of questions about it, so I just want to make a quick video to talk people through that. That's what we're seeing. Creators International dateline, to the east, it's 365 days. To the west, it's 366 days. Feel free to let me know if you have any thoughts about that, and stay tuned. We'll just keep proving things out, testing things out, searching things out one step at a time. So shalom, and may Allah bless you as you continually seek out His truth and love with a pure heart.